Electricast.
Brace the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started today at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
Hey Iris, do you think Bram Stoker is the author of this lost Nordic version of Dracula?
A whole lot of people, myself included, have been trying to figure just that out.
Are they as obsessed as you are?
I think it's probably safe to say.
Check out the Powers of Darkness podcast from Or Whatever Movies.
Available October 2025.
I know what you are.
Say it.
Vampire.
Nosferatu. These creatures do not die, but instead grow strong, feeding on the blood of the living.
Bar the windows. Try to hide. They're coming.
Welcome to Vampire Month with Wesley and Iris.
What up? Welcome to Or Whatever Movies. I'm your co-host, Iris. I'm here with my older brother,
Wesley.
Today we're talking a movie from 1996, nearly 30 years old. How have we not discussed From Dusk Till Dawn till now?
No one tends to discuss Quentin Tarantino's acting roles, directed by ya boy,
Robert Rodriguez. Why is everybody my boy?
I don't know.
And you say performances plural, so, I mean, he was in True Romance, maybe? What else?
He wasn't in True Romance. He was in Pulp Fiction. It was Jimmy, the cup of coffee bathrobe wearing guy. He was in Sukiyaki Western Django. He was in Planet Terror, Robert Rodriguez's Planet Terror. He was in Reservoir Dogs. There's a meme going around. It was for promotion for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It had Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie and Leonardo DiCaprio and all these A-listers. It's a picture of the four of them with Quentin Tarantino. And someone says that Quentin Tarantino in pictures always poses like he's the hot one.
Is he not?
I don't think. He's certainly not next to George Clooney.
George Clooney is awfully pretty in From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yep.
No less ticky, but very pretty.
Maybe his first feature film role. This was the equivalent of Bruce Willis in Die Hard after having spent seasons and seasons on Moonlighting. And people were like, wait, Bruce Willis is an action star?
Because Moonlighting was comedy. Wasn't George Clooney like a doctor or something?
Wasn't he a doctor? Yeah, on ER with your boy.
My other boy.
Anthony Edwards, a.k.a. Goose. I don't know why they're all your boy.
Goose from Top Gun?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, I like Top Gun and Maverick and everything, but my boy, this is getting ridiculous. Okay, so he was the dreamy doctor, and he's also a Nepo baby. How does he come to this pulp crime vampire movie? How do you describe this movie?
How do I describe this? Well, IMDb classifies it, one of the top genres is splatter horror.
Yeah, that tracks.
I mean, he's obviously got the good looks, and this was taking his shot. As I recall, Tarantino directed an episode of ER. Robert Rodriguez was coming off of Desperado, which was in itself an Americanized version of El Mariachi. Tarantino had already won the Oscar for screenwriting for Pulp Fiction. He had Pulp Fiction under his belt and Reservoir Dogs before that. And he decided he was going to act. But he wrote the screenplay. It wasn't his original story concept. He was maybe going to direct it and then handed it off to Robert Rodriguez. I can't help but think that George Clooney, in a weird way, is the American Antonio Banderas, maybe, of Desperado. He looks a little bit like him, and he's...
Yeah, I can see that.
He's the hero, the American hero, as Seth Gecko in From Dusk Till Dawn. Which I am instead going to call Trilogy of Terror, starring Cheech Marin.
You mean the Three Cheeches?
That's what I should have called it. That's a much better title.
So maybe it's a little bit of a white savior movie?
I don't know about that. He doesn't save anybody. Does he actually save Kate's life?
I mean, if you want to be egalitarian, you can say it's like a co-saving, sure.
She saves him from the demon dog that Sex Machine becomes.
Yeah, doesn't she harpoon him or...
No, she crossbows him.
Crossbow him? Yeah,
Which is just a dry land harpoon, I guess.
Right. I mean, one can act and simultaneously direct. That can't possibly be the reason that Tarantino didn't direct From Dusk Till Dawn. Maybe he was saving for his quota. When did he announce his quota?
The first time that he started keeping track was Kill Bill, which was much later. It was 6 years after this one or 7 years after this one, the fourth film by Quentin Tarantino. And then at some point he said 10 films, which is what you're referring to, his quota, and the 10 and done. And then he's still trying to decide. He's still hanging on to that, but it's still TBD as to what his 10th film will be. From Dusk Till... So they had their shared studio, their Troublemaker studio. They did Grindhouse together, Robert Rodriguez doing the Planet Terror installment, Tarantino doing Death Proof, and they mashed them together. I loved Death Proof, almost without reserve. I've only seen Planet Terror maybe twice out of necessity because I saw Grindhouse 3 times in the theater. The differences between them so vast as far as I'm concerned, but it's all kind of the same thing, I guess.
Vast in the sense that Tarantino's work is vastly superior?
That is my personal contention, but they love the same stuff. They love splatter horror and schlocky movie and pulpy stuff and this kind of gangstery kind of thing and the immersive world of Mexico and then later vampires for some reason. But their output and their instincts are so different. It's like people are like, oh, you like Pearl Jam, you must like Stone Temple Pilots, like love them. And I'm like, no, that's not the same thing at all. Oh, you like Pearl Jam, you like Creed. No. Do people not understand the difference? Can people really not understand the difference between a Robert Rodriguez directed movie and a Quentin Tarantino movie?
Yeah, like can people not tell the difference between Ryan Reynolds and Ryan Gosling? Like one is hot and one is completely not, right?
I think you're going with Ryan Gosling being the hot one.
Obvi.
That's a very apt comparison, I think. Not because they share similarities with either Robert Rodriguez or Quentin Tarantino, but rather that they are both Ryans and occupy the same space in people's hearts and minds. Could not be more different in terms of output and quality and presence and ability. I don't know. I'm with you. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Why are we discussing From Dusk Till Dawn?
Why are we discussing, Iris, From Dusk Till Dawn? You wanted to do a vampire-themed month. Here we are, From Dusk Till Dawn. This is my whiplash, I was going to say. For Teacher Month, you had an issue with whiplash of all the movies. Of all the things we discussing for Vampire Month, From Dusk Till Dawn, I was the most hesitant.
We're kicking off Vampire Month with From Dusk Till Dawn because technically it's a vampire movie, but why were you hesitant?
I like vampire movies. There have been good ones. There have definitely been bad ones. As vampire movies go, this hits all the beats, but it's among the schlockier ones, among the cheesiest, the most dude broinest, and this is a world that I don't enjoy inhabiting. It's not like I have some kind of moral standards or whatever, just stylistically, the cool of this movie bounces right off of me. This movie inspired 2 sequels, neither of which Tarantino had anything to do with. I don't even think Robert Rodriguez, I don't know, because I'm too lazy and don't care enough to investigate those sequels. And a full-length, like a TV series that ran a couple of seasons. It's the worst, in my humble opinion, kind of vampire movie because it trades on cool and gross out, and it's got this gangster vibe that dominates the first half of the movie, which dies with Richie, I guess.
It's definitely supposed to be ironic wink wink, but it's also supposed to be balls out spectacle. And you're saying that the two don't jibe. And whatever that cocktail is doesn't mix for you?
It doesn't work for me. We talked about Gunpowder Milkshake being like a pinball machine version of a Tarantino movie. This seems like Robert Rodriguez doing his darndest to make a Tarantino movie. And that's not quite true because this feels like Desperado. It's all in a seedy bar and with sweaty dudes, including Cheech Marin. But it reeks of Robert Rodriguez. And there's no good way to say that.
So is it form over function? Or is it Rodriguez's brand of filmmaking? Or is it just simply a poorly executed film?
It pushes so many of my buttons. It's hard to say exactly what it is that bothers me. I could make a much better vampire movie than this. Well, do it then. Well, no, I can't. For whatever reason. Maybe I don't have the guts. Maybe I don't have the stick-to-itiveness. Maybe I don't have the determination to be Robert Rodriguez and just pick up a camera and make a movie and stuff, and shot out like in the desert of California or whatever, and they only had 6 full-length vampire suits that they're reusing like aliens, trying to strategically make it look like there's a whole world of vampires. You know, when the vampires are coming down the hallway and they've determined that they're going to stand up and fight before Jacob turns? There's 6 vampires. The rest are digital. Some of them are just like in makeup to look like vampires, like makeup applied. And then there's like a standee or some kind of plastic model of a vampire in the back that's like non-moving. It's so shoestringy and schlocky.
Is that intentional? Is that supposed to be, are we supposed to be in on that? Or are we supposed to not see the seams?
I cannot imagine that people are like, man, that was tight and clean and just so perfectly executed. But people bought it and love this movie. And I don't know if it's a cult classic or how that qualifies, but a part 2 and a part 3 and a TV series. And here we are talking about it nearly 30 years later, and I don't understand. So we're discussing this based on your first ever viewing.
Yes.
Okay.
How many times have you seen this?
Maybe 6 times. I'm bringing all my baggage along with this movie. In history, I was there when it was released. Kelly Ray has a history of this movie. I think she likes vampire movies, but this is the one she walked out of. And I was like, well, not that bad. I'm reacting, but I can barely stomach watching this movie all the way through. And I think it's because it puts me in a creative crisis. This idea that I don't have my finger on the pulse of what people like or don't like. There was a guy in my same role. He is a producer. His name is Al. And he listed, like 15 years ago, said that Robert Rodriguez was his favorite director. I was like, favorite? Robert Rodriguez, you're a producer and in the entertainment business. Robert Rodriguez is your favorite? That's like saying, what's your favorite food? It's Mexican. Okay, well, that's totally relatable. What's your favorite Mexican restaurant? Taco Bell. It doesn't make sense to me. It scares the bejesus out of me more than these vampires ever possibly could, that I am simply wrong. And that's what scares me.
Is that part of the problem, that From Dusk Till Dawn doesn't scare you? That the campiness actually lowers the stakes?
The fact that they're soft and mushy and you can pull their heads off with a flick of your wrist using Sex Machine's whip. They're not vampires. I tried my best. I was like, I got to show up for Iris, and she wants to do this movie. I'm going to do research. I came up against so many things that I was like, that's weird. They're not vampires. Did you know? They're culebra.
Does that translate to zombie in Spanish?
They're serpents, basically. They're descendants from a serpent god and all this stuff. And obviously there's the pyramid. And you see like, whoa, that's deep, bro. When they pan back in the final shot to show the massive Aztec pyramid where there's so much lore and there's so much history.
Literally a deep quarry.
This is what I'm saying. And you can see that it's been excavated and there's trucks and stuff from the truckers that they preyed upon down there. And then I found out that all this research that I had done, all the things qualifying these as vampires or whatever, probably not done by Tarantino, who wrote what he perceived to be a fun script or whatever. Probably of all the Tarantino touched projects, maybe my least favorite, but then I found that all this stuff was backstory created for the TV show. And that kind of reinforced this idea for me that From Dusk Till Dawn exists as this weird little kind of lazy, like, dude, that'd be so cool kind of one-off that somebody filled in the blanks for later.
So you're saying that the context that we have for From Dusk Till Dawn was retconned, and that Tarantino's script didn't have context, wasn't laying the groundwork for world building?
Do you know that one of Tarantino's prospects, one of the movies in contention for his last directorial feature, was going to be a Star Trek movie? He likes Star Trek, apparently.
Yeah.
And I was like, do we want to let Tarantino do Star Trek? And of course, it wouldn't be Pulp Fiction on the Enterprise, but it's so outside, I think, his sensibilities or his style as a filmmaker. But then again, he's done everything from Westerns or Southerns to samurai-style movies. His influence and his exposure is vast and varied. Star Trek? I'm not sure. Vampires? Should we have let Tarantino go nutso on vampires? I'm not sure that I would trust him for a Star Trek movie now.
Like we have any say in it, but he seems facile and literate enough that he could, kind of do anything, although it would all be in Tarantino's spin. But I'd be kind of curious to see his take on just about anything.
With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love, starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold, soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
Of course, and that's kind of the problem, that I would show up, that I have to acknowledge this as a Tarantino script, and one that this is his best acting performance. I can give you that, I would say.
So tell me why this is a vampire movie. You said it's not, but why is it kind of?
Because they've decided, because they are creatures of the night, because they're beholden to the vampire tropes of how to kill a vampire. It's like he came in with a rudimentary knowledge, was like, it's not cool. There's not tattoos and liquor and foot stuff. Remember when we discussed a movie, I think it was Once Upon a Time, which is a long time ago now for us. And I mentioned the foot thing and you were like, what foot thing? And I was like, what foot thing? And it's probably because at the time you hadn't seen From Dusk Till Dawn.
It's so true. You're referring specifically to
all the feet?
When we went to see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and then Margaret Qualley puts her foot up on Brad Pitt's dashboard, and then someone in the audience said, "There's the feet." Right? And I was like, what? And then I watched From Dusk Till Dawn, and I was like, there the feet. Because, wow. Talk about pretty. Selma Hayek? Smoking hot. Is this her debut?
This is not. She was in Robert Rodriguez's Desperado. And he called her up and was like, I need you to dance. And she's like, okay. And he's like, there's going to be a snake. And she was like, whoa. So she had to go to therapy. She had to put herself into a trance to overcome her lifelong fear of snakes when she had a giant albino reticulated Burmese python around her neck, whose name was Lemon, and had a really hard time. But boy, does this stand in the minds of everyone ever since as an iconic, like she was barely in this movie. And yet when it's like career retrospective, this always comes up. I mean, going back to why is it a vampire movie? Because they can be killed with stakes, because they blow up when sunlight touches them, because they only come out at night, I guess, although it kind of doesn't matter. In the vampire stuff nowadays, they can be awake. They are awake during the day. They're just not, they just can't go out into direct sunlight lest they burst into flame, explode, or sparkle.
These are not the things that you are saying. I know I put you on the spot, but the things that you are saying that make this a vampire movie are funnily enough not even vampire rules.
Look, are they vampires? I don't know. I don't care. But But when it comes to stuff like changing the canon stuff, inventing new tropes for vampires to which they must adhere, I guess, it all comes out of these different circumstances to be different, to be unique, and sometimes out of filmmaking necessities. This is splatter horror, and it's schlocky and egregious, and they were like, we got to get around this rating. Like this, this is obviously, in my humble opinion, for kids or young adults, and they were like, too much blood. Oh, let's make it green. And that kind of factors into what these vampires actually are. Like, if they're drinking, are they even drinking blood, or are they just killing for funsies? I can't really tell.
They seem more zombie-like to me. They're not eating flesh per se, but they're biting and transforming and rising from the dead and becoming like immediately decomposed for some reason.
Yeah, and they're also wildly varying lengths. For when you vamp out, Jacob lasts a long time. And the other guy, the one with Amanda Bierce level mouth, the giant vamp mouth, he turns very quickly within a couple of minutes of getting bitten.
Are you referring specifically to Frost?
Yes, Frost, whose name in this movie is never mentioned.
Danny Trejo, also a familiar face in Tarantino films.
Probably more for Robert Rodriguez. He was in Desperado, and he was in Spy Kids, and he was in Machete, and he was in From Dusk Till Dawn, and he was in... I think he's in all the Robert Rodriguez movies.
And then what's the significance of the Cheech appearances?
He was in Desperado. Everybody likes Cheech. I don't know, man. I don't know. But
is his character, Chet Pussy, just the microcosm of the tone and the intention of From Dusk Till Dawn?
I think that particular character, absolutely, what they were going for. If you're not a fan of Chet, probably not a fan of this movie. And I think that right there alienates most of the female audience.
I mean, this movie is definitely gross, and I'll admit it did feel a little bit like a chore. I didn't buy George Clooney's Seth Gecko character arc, but that being said, it's not a not fun ride.
I mean,
that's a backhanded compliment, isn't it?
He feels like a commanding presence, right? He's tough. He's got that cool tattoo, I guess. This is the big movie, like his calling for movies. And this is what got him Schumacher's Batman. Why was this a chore for you? Is it because you weren't swept up and having a good time and you felt maybe this movie wasn't intended for you?
It's a little bit gross, so I didn't feel like I could have my guard down. And though, a movie like The Substance just does require some effort, maybe it paid off a little bit more. I think that also I had a expectation with Tarantino or Tarantino-associated films that any tediousness in setup and exposition will be paid off. I think the majority of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is tedious and kind of set-up-y, but it pays off so beautifully and, dare I say, elegantly, that it's worth it. It's no Inglourious Bastards, but it's worth it. And so there seems to be less of a payoff for the effort that From Dusk Till Dawn requires.
Yeah.
This is made for a very specific audience. And so I'm a little mystified as to why it has broad appeal. Does it have broad appeal? Is this the commercial crossover film, for the cult following and the masses?
I don't know how to answer that. This is the Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez crossover world that spawned other projects. Earl McGraw, the sheriff, you remember him from Kill Bill, right? The sheriff in the Benny's World of Liquor or whatever.
Yeah.
He was in Kill Bill. He was in Planet Terror. He was in Death Proof, and here he is. But he survived. He was in those movies, which were much later. So maybe this takes place after the events in those movies. It's a shared universe. There's Big Kahuna Burger in this movie. Chingo or whatever, the Robert Rodriguez's beer. Maybe this one was for the fans. I don't know, man.
Ooh, I'm seeing it come together.
What?
I'm seeing Tarantino world. There's like Kill Bill Land, and then there's like From Dusk Till Dawn Desert, and this is all the Tarantino universe, places that we want to play in and live in.
All right, since you love this movie unabashedly, we're going to go through the worst parts of this movie that make me mad, and you're going to tell me good or bad and try to justify your claims.
Go.
Remember when Danny Trejo's character dies on the pool table?
Yes.
His eyes roll out of his melting head and make a pool ball sound, like a clacky sound, and go into the pockets of the pool table? Yay or nay?
I honestly don't remember it, but it sounds kind of funny to me.
The band is playing the bodies of the people that they have killed. Apparently, they've strung the bodies like guitars, and they're playing their brand of Mexican Roadhouse rock on the bodies. Yay or nay?
Who uses the leg of so-and-so to kill the zombies?
That was from Shaun of the Dead.
Right. See, that's kind of tropey, but yay or nay, lame or cool, I'm going to have to say lame.
The band then says, F you, good night, and then like self-explodes. They like detonate. I'm telling you, dude, there are people out there who will defend this movie to the dying day. What about Sex Machine's dong gun?
So confusing.
So
like, what's it? Is he? I see that he's proud of it, but is it really menacing? Like, does the other guy feel threatened by his dong gun?
Somebody was just like, that's so cool. And the guy with the knife is scared. I guess he doesn't want to get shot. Nobody wants to get shot by the dong gun.
Yeah, but you can't aim the dong gun. And what about
it flips up? You have to aim your junk at someone to fire. How do you fire? Those cylinders that hold the bullets that stand in for the balls, that's not how guns work.
The kick is probably really painful.
Right. It'd be like getting punched in the nuts every time you fire the gun. But I'm telling you, people are like, no, because it's probably padded behind the thing to withstand the impact. And rather than it just like cosmetically looks like a revolver. It doesn't work the way a revolver does. It's probably belt fed so that a belt takes a live round from one cylinder into the chamber and then fires. And then the other chamber is meant for the receptacles of the bullets. And I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe.
No. What's that from?
No, wait. The version that I know is from the Hard Way, but you must be talking about The Bodyguard.
This is a continuation from my pop quiz this morning when I was quoting Bridesmaids, The Last Unicorn, and Deep Impact?
I don't know much, but I know movie trivia. Did you know that Jules Winfield's legendary Ezekiel 25:17 speech was originally written for Jacob?
Doesn't he also grossly misquote the Bible?
Yeah, he does. But I mean, Jacob is a lapsed faith man of God or whatever, But I was like, whoa. And he has these concepts or whatever. And then it just kind of survives and gets plugged into other places. At one point, Jacob...
You love that stuff.
...shoves the shotgun through Frost's soft vampire culebra body and then uses his body to pump the shotgun while Frost waves his arms and kills like 3 other vampires. Yay or nay?
I'm going to go yay on that because people aren't justifying these moments. They're not defending them.
Are you
explaining
kidding
how
me?
scientific. No, they're not, because this is not supposed to be rational. It's not supposed to appeal to your logical mind. And I think that's why you're short-circuiting, because of the illogic in From Dusk Till Dawn, pretty much from beginning to end.
And I think people are like, that was cool or that was fun.
Exactly. The dong gun is stylistic.
Like, I'm supposed to be on board. It feels insulting. It feels insulting that Seth's jackhammer that he retooled to be a stake with like a 2-inch jackhammering action, like that's more effective than just wooden stakes. Because it's cool, because it's got a chainsaw sounding motor in it. Yay or nay? It doesn't matter. Kate's crossbow, her pump action crossbow that she can rack, which presumably puts a bolt into the chamber or along the slide and cocks the bow, draws the string back. Yay or nay?
I mean, in terms of empowering Kate, yay. But I didn't understand how that worked any more than I did Jacob Fuller's crucifix shotgun combination thing.
It doesn't work, but it looks cool, and Jacob can fend them off so they can't attack him while he's racking that shotgun and blowing them away. He's keeping them at bay with the cross formation so that he can tilt it down and blow them away. It felt insulting to me. And it's probably my failing that I can't just let go and let God and have fun. And it ruins what should be a fun, splattery, boobs all over the place experience. Are vampire boobs hot? Poster quote.
I can just feel you. I can feel you seething. It's so hard to have this conversation because you're so out of it. I picture you just like stone-faced, stoic watching this film, laboring to get through it and laboring to get through this discussion.
Oh, my God.
A nope or a whatever?
Whatever.
You can't seethe and foam at the mouth and plant your feet and then say whatever.
I think he's schlocky and I think he's hammy and cheesy, but that doesn't, ham and cheese. But that doesn't mean that I don't understand that people like him. I've eaten at Taco Bell. You can't say that, okay, it is kind of bad food, but I've still eaten it. I've still seen this movie more than once, way more than once. It irks me that it's on the verge of something that could be kind of cool, but is just ruined by too many dumb things. It's not offensively bad as a movie. It's just not my cup of tea. And I hate that this movie has to occupy like modern vampire top 10 lists or whatever.
All right. There's a special place in my heart for a Taco Bell crunchy taco with fire sauce.
That's what I'm saying. 4-alarm double-decker taco supremes were my jam. They don't exist anymore, but that doesn't mean I can't still think on them fondly. This movie barely exists in my consciousness until you insisted that we discuss it.
Despite you having seen it 6 times. You're so ironic, Wes.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that Taco Bell is good for you or that you probably want to have it more than once every couple years.
That's a good poster quote because this movie also not good for you. Also not good for you to overindulge on it. I guess if it lands in your lap every few years, you can power it down.
Yet, nevertheless, I think a good part of a cross-selection of vampire movies that run the gamut. I mean, that is the universality, the mutability of the vampire genre, which is what we are discussing during Vampire Month here at orwhatevermovies and orwhatevermovies.com.
Wait, what's your rating?
Wherever you get podcasts.
Come at me, bro. What do you got?
It's kind of the chalupa of vampire movies. That's my official rating. That's still around, right? The chalupa?
It is, yes. Strangely, the chalupa endures, probably because its crunchiness, and the gordita has disappeared. Gordita was the soft bread version.
Yeah, but I think that's because it's offensive or like it's body imagist. Check out our other episodes in Vampire Month that will segue, I think, just perfectly into Halloween Month, which we do every year at Or Whatever Movies. You can check out the Powers of Darkness podcast at orwhatevermovies.com or wherever you get podcasts. And let us know what you think. 818-835-0473 or whatevermovies@gmail.com. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Ever thought about starting your own podcast?
Do you have a business or a message you want to share with the world?
Well, now it's easier than ever with Electrocast. Hi, I'm Mark Netter.
And I'm Peter Rafelson. We're the founders of Electrocast Media.
Whether you want to start a new podcast or already have one, join Electrocast to grow your audience, monetize your content, and build your community.
With our simple sign-up, you get free promotion, world-class analytics, premium ads, and personal support.
Go to electrocast.com and join our community today.
Electrocast. Transform your influence.
Electrocast. Hey guys, it's your girl Yasia. I want to share some really exciting news with you. I just dropped my first ever single, Spell on You, off my upcoming debut EP, Devil's Room, on RM Records. It's simply devilicious. Check out Spell on You wherever you listen to music. Bye for now.
I never thought I'd fall in love like this. It's time to close the chapter, but I think I needed this.
Electrocast.